Hello everyone and welcome into the Griplock preview for the final day at the PDGA World Championships, and things got interesting yesterday. So when we were talking yesterday, we talked about how Isaac Robinson seemed so in control. It seemed like he wasn't going to slip up, yada, yada, yada. But at the end we said there is a case. We've seen it before at Idlewild. We've seen it before at many different tournaments, really. And it somewhat happened. Middle of the round, Isaac Robinson slipped. And when he slipped, he actually even lost the lead for a little stretch there to Niklas Antila. And players started pushing. Very impressive that he was able to regain composure and actually regain his lead. Pushed it to 3 strokes by the end of the round to Niklas Antila, who is in second. We're going to have a Calvin Heimberg on the lead card. He sits only 5 strokes back today, and then Luke Taylor is going to round out that lead card. Very
Shout
impressive.
Out Luke Taylor.
Yeah,
he's hung around since round 2.
Yeah, round 1 he really popped off, got onto the lead card. He fell off of lead card round 2 out here, got himself back onto lead card, and then has been able to hold on to the lead card. Joseph Anderson was the player who was at prime position to push Isaac Robinson. It wasn't his day out here yesterday. He ended up shooting a 1 over and slid down into 9th place. A top 10 finish at Worlds would still be very solid for him. Obviously, he's a Pro Tour winner now. He's been having a great season, but a top 10 finish is obviously nothing to scoff at. So hopefully he can regain focus today and get the job done out here. But Isaac did have pressure from Niklas, from Calvin. Gannon Burr was even pushing. Eagle McMahon pushed up there. The chase car is going to be Gannon, Eagle, Sullivan Tipton, Ricky Wysocki. That's going to be electric as well. But it all comes down to this now. 3-stroke lead for Isaac Robinson on a very, very tricky course. He went through some adversity. He was able to regain it. Really, you almost have to feel like he's probably going to go through a little bit of that adversity again today with so many players chasing him. Yeah. What do you think are we going to see out here?
I think yesterday it was more than just a little slip-up. Obviously, it felt like a mini collapse there.
Yes.
Losing the lead, that had to feel very turbulent for him. And the way that he so quickly spun it around and not only got his lead back pretty quickly, but grew it back to 3 shots was incredible. That's the most impressive thing he's done all tournament. And I think that to me was a sign that he is going to finish out this tournament and win today, because that takes a lot of guts to dig yourself out of a hole that you create for yourselves. Taking a single bogey and then a double right after that and losing that lead was tough. But yeah, yesterday was just another case of a lot of those chasing players, like we said, just had a lot of trouble getting to that extra amount under par that you would need to try and catch up to him. Gannon Burr played a great round yesterday, but I think he finished at 8 under. Getting to that 10, 11, 12 just doesn't really seem to be achievable for anybody out there. So in my mind, I think Antila is still very dangerous. I think he's the most dangerous player. Not just because he's the closest to the leader, but I think he is a guy who can play a smooth round, catch up to him, won't get overly aggressive. I think he reminds me of Isaac a bit with his play style. And he'll definitely be knocking on the door if Isaac slips up. Calvin is within range, but the last couple days we've seen him come out hot and then kind of fizzle out. The thing is, you get kind of patches of scoring on this course, because 1 through 3, I would say 1 through 4, very, very scoreable. And you have 5 and 6, you just have to survive those two holes. Then 7 through 13 realistic are all gettable, and then you kind of have to lock in for 14, just make par there. And then
really 14 in almost.
Yeah, the end of the course is a little bit more of a shoot even par for that stretch type of play. Like there's trouble that kind of awaits you. So it's not random that we've seen this team of players coming out and shooting a lot hotter on the first stretch of holes. But I'm just wondering if somebody will be able to put it together. But honestly, I think the number that Isaac probably needs to shoot today, if he is to win, realistically, that number is probably 6 under par.
I was thinking 7 under. I think 7 under secures it for him, because Niklas, if he shoots 6 under and Niklas shoots 9 under like we saw yesterday, we're tied up. So I think 7 under really secures it, just because that double digits is so hard to chase down.
Yeah.
Calvin Heimberg, I think, is the last player that's truly in this, being 5 strokes back. But Calvin's going to have a really good round and some help from Niklas.
Yeah.
Niklas and Isaac, really. Yeah. But from Isaac is what I was trying to say. Whereas Niklas can go and take this from Isaac, because a 6 under round out here is solid, right? Yeah. So it's not like, when it's all said and done, it's not like Isaac had a huge blow-up round yesterday. But what we also have seen is we saw Anthony Brella come out here round 2, shoot even par. We just saw Joseph Anderson come out here, shoot 1 over.
Yeah.
Scoring's not guaranteed out here. So if Isaac Robinson comes out and he starts, with a few OB strokes, if he doesn't, if he goes 1 under through the first 4, he could have already, boom, his lead be gone.
Oh, yeah.
And then very quickly, if you're, start off slow, you could get to that 5-6 stretch and be looking at yourself over par, possibly in 3rd place that quickly.
We'll know a lot about this tournament going into hole 7, because I think, like you mentioned, it can be as simple as Isaac makes, goes 1 under through 4, and Antela could get all 4 of them, and all of a sudden we're tied. It can be that simple.
Yeah, now I am getting a feeling that from the chase card we're looking at, I think that this podium is not going to tell the full story of the event.
No.
I think we're going to see some names like a Gannon Bird, like a Ricky Wysocki, really charging and end up in a 2nd or 3rd place finish.
Yeah.
That's like, well, they were never really in it.
It feels destiny that Gannon's going to get that 3rd place, just like as he does, And realistically, if it weren't for his slow start, he's been playing pretty well these last few rounds. He's been just as dangerous as ever. I think a few better breaks in round 2, and things could be a lot different out here. But yeah, it seems like he might swipe up another podium.
Yeah. Now, one thing I'm super excited about is the 18th green sitting behind us. You can see how it's sitting on this hill slope. What that allows for is an awesome surrounding the green gallery finish. We really haven't seen the entire gallery on one card yet. That should change final hole today.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you're looking at yesterday's card, there was a few hundred people on the Paul Macbeth card. There was at least 100 people on the Anthony Barella card. There was legitimately probably close to 700 people following the chase card. And there was another few hundred following the lead card. I think they closed in on 4,000 or 5,000 people out here yesterday, and it's expected to go up a little bit today. This final gallery is going to be insane, and with a lead card that does have some big names on it, because obviously the chase card is going to have a good gallery, but the lead card having Calvin, having Niklas, having Isaac, and obviously having all of them duke out for a world title means the lead card should have one of the biggest galleries we've seen in our sport.
Yeah, I think today we finally realized the potential of that lead card, but I think it's been interesting being on site. One thing I will mention that was just so awesome yesterday, when you do spread out the galleries and you have them of such size, hearing the roars across the course yesterday was unbelievable. And when you saw that Calvin Simon card walking down the hill of 10 from a distance, it looked like a stampede. It was absolutely insane. But it does put a lot of perspective. I think we're not always attending events, and I think when you come to an event like this, if you're just watching on coverage at home, you may see lead card have 300 people on it and be like, that's it, this is Worlds, it's Saturday. But you have to realize there's so many people that are here to watch their favorite player, and so you can have hundreds of people on individual cards spread out throughout the course. But I think you're right, today, since we are in the final round and the lead card is going to be the most important, at least by the time we get to the end of that round, it is going to be packed in.
Well, there's also so many spots out here that have awesome, sit here and watch.
A lot of people are camping on hole 1 even.
Yeah. So people are camping on 1, people are camping on 17, people are camping on hole 7. Camping isn't sitting. They're
a lot of a lot of people in the adjoining houses that live there just in their backyard.
But a lot of that gets picked up when lead card comes through, and the lead card gallery will start, a few hundred people, and then as the day goes on and they start to separate themselves, it keeps joining and joining and joining. And that's what gets me really excited for 18 and why I wanted to be here today is there's going to be 2 world champs crowned behind us. Obviously, FPO, by the time this is coming out, will already have gone off. That's why we're not really doing much of an FPO preview. But then MPO as well is going to be electric. And I did want to mention, you probably saw it on coverage yesterday if you were watching. If you weren't, I'll give you a way to watch some discount coverage there. Not discount coverage for a discount.
There you go.
There you go. That's the best way to put it. But if you were watching it, I just want to explain the unpredictability of this course, because we saw James Proctor, 10-foot tap in, hole 14, right? Stress-free. Just tap it in. Throws it, dead center spits out on this massive hill, stands up and slowly rolls down the hill. Takes about 30 seconds to settle because it gets on the cart path, does a little wobble, looks like it's going to fall, picks up speed, takes off down the hill. OB, he borrows Gannon Burr's putter to just tap out from the exact same spot, abandon his lie.
Respect.
That's how fast things can change. Because, if that's Isaac Robinson and his lead's cut to 2, there it is, it's gone.
Yeah.
And so even when it feels locked in, that's why this finishing stretch is really important to me, because 14, whether you think it's gimmicky or not, who cares? That's up for debate. But what it does do is it creates some electric moments, because you got a hillside like that with the basket on it. That's going to be very, very tough and cause a lot of stuff. Then you go into hole 15, a straight uphill with a lot of OB, par 4. That's very tough. Isaac has told us from the beginning, I'm playing for par on 16, so the door's open for a stroke there.
That's going to be very interesting. And I still think, if he goes into 16, It all depends on the scenario. I mean, he knows he has 17 coming up right after, which is definitely a swing.
But
hole,
17 so far, he's also been playing for par.
Yeah, which, by the way, multiple players trying to throw skip shots yesterday. Yakub Semerad, I watched skip one right under the basket off the water. Very fun.
But yeah, 17 obviously can cause a lot of stroke swing and stuff like that. And then 18 has been giving players trouble. I mean, it is
not a guaranteed birdie.
It's a pretty straightforward hole if you play it well. But, I mean, it's so easy to slip up, and even the demanding tee shot into this green is just so uphill. The elevation change, it legitimately is an uphill finish.
Yeah.
In both the course design and literally you're just hiking up hills for the remainder of this course. So even if it feels like it's over through 13, there's a really, really tough finishing stretch that 4-stroke lead could go like that, which I think makes this a very exciting tournament to watch. And if you haven't already, pick up a DGN subscription. You can check the link in the description down below and use code FDG10 to get 10% off your first month, or you can use code FDG20 and get 20% off your annual subscription. But be sure to get out either physically or at home. Watch some disc golf today. I think we're in for 2 absolutely electric finishes. By the time you're watching this, FPO is already going on, so go over there and check that out. And then the MPO lead card will tee off this afternoon. It's going to be unreal, and we can't wait to talk about it all tomorrow on Grip Locked.